I am here today to talk about why Reverend Hannah Adair Bonner deserves to win the 2017 Nobel Prize for Faith-Based Social Justice. But before I discuss the event that led her to receive this nomination, I want to tell you about who she is as a person. Reverend Hannah Bonner spent her undergraduate education at Fordham University, where she received a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. She then continued her education to the level of Master's in Divinity at Duke University Divinity School. After all those years of schooling, she says that she truly received her education from the family and friends around her. She got ordained as a minister from the United Methodist Church and started the Shout. The Shout is a spoken word, poetry-focused activism movement created to bring together a community of multi-ethnic and solidarity-building people. Some of Reverend Hannah Bonner's causes that she has committed herself to are human rights, politics, poverty alleviation, social services, arts and culture, civil rights, social action, disaster and humanitarian relief, and the environment. Though she is passionate about many causes, we are here today to talk about her actions with civil rights and social action. But before I can accurately explain the effect of her actions, I must tell you about a woman named Sandra Bland. Growing up, Sandra Bland was an African American in a primarily white environment. She was forced to move multiple times by people who wouldn't want to live around her. She was rarely exposed to other African Americans, and yet when people were asked to describe her, they would say she was strong and wasn't going to let anyone run her over. Later in life, she received a scholarship to A&M University, which has a largely black population. She was exposed to everything that she had missed growing up and learned more about herself. After college, she struggled to find a permanent job and was reported to have only earned $8,000 a year. She was enlightened to injustices that she and her friends had faced and started a YouTube channel called #SandySpeaks, where she spoke out against injustice and urged others to stand up with her. One of the common phrases that Sandy would use to talk about the violence between police officers and African Americans were, "At first they use a noose, now all they do is shoot." On July 10, 2015, Sandy was aggressively pulled from her car, arrested, and placed in solitary confinement on the charge of changing lanes without using her turn signal. 3 days later, on July 13, Sandy was found dead in her prison cell, and the police ruled it a suicide. In response to Sandra Bland's questionably ruled suicide, her family filed an unlawful death suit, and Reverend Hannah Bonner stood vigil outside of the police station for weeks, demanding answers and justice for Sandra and her family. She also organized multiple churches to come together and join her in her pursuit of justice. She is quoted saying, "We are trying to live out what it means to be one in Christ in this time and place in Waller County." She believed that because of her religion, it was her duty to fight for Sandra. A couple of weeks into the vigil, a policeman was recorded yelling at her to go back to her church of Satan. But she never let that stop her from honoring Sandra. She explained why she wouldn't leave when she said, "I've made a commitment to the Bland family. I don't know what that means. Only God knows." On July 26th, Reverend Hannah Bonner, along with hundreds of other supporters, marched from a chapel to the place where Sandra was arrested. In response to her actions, the police opened up an investigation, and the officer that arrested Sandra was removed from the police force. Although this event has happened over 2 years ago, Reverend Hannah Bonner deserves to win the Nobel Prize for Faith-Based Social Justice because she inspired a whole movement. Because of her, precautions have been made to protect against this happening again, and Sandra Bland has become the face of Black Lives Matter in Houston. For the past 2 years, on the anniversary of Sandra's death, hundreds of people, as shown in the picture, has marched to the Capitol on the anniversary of Sandra's death. Hundreds of people have marched to the Capitol holding signs that read, "I am Sandra Bland is me," and #SandyStillSpeaks. This shows the lasting effect that Sandra Bland and Reverend Hannah Bonner have had on their society and why she deserves to win the Nobel Prize. Thank you. Any questions?
Yes.
So, what does this kind of mean to you? What does her legacy, what does what she did, what does that kind of mean to you?
I think it's very influential because she is fighting for equality between all people, and she was very clear that she was not trying to say that whites were not allowed to come and help support. She was very clear in showing that she's trying for equality and respect between all races and fighting for safety of African Americans in police custody and stopping the violence between them. And that means a lot to me, especially because of today. There's a lot of media out there of people being shot without weapons, people being unjustly taken by the police. Anyone else? Oh, yes.
How do you think Sandra's efforts produce a result for police kind of brutality towards people?
She drew a lot of attention to the issue, and a lot of people were made aware that there is a problem. There was a problem between the police and African Americans and their way of approaching the situation. And because of that attention, a lot of new precautionary measures and standards have been set in, for people in custody, which will help a lot of people in the future too.
Thank you very much.